Wow. Wow. That I guess baseball was played. I guess baseball was played, not great baseball. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Kevin and Zach React. I'm your host, Zach Bollinger. Kevin Ostriker will be joining us shortly. This is another just Orioles lose 4-1. Their only run came on a wild pitch on after a misplayed ball led to a Mountcastle triple. It's tough. It's tough. We have our effing infielders in the outfield because they're fast. It's the only reason they're fast. We've seen Jorge Mateo fail in the outfield in other organizations. We've seen him fail in the outfield with our organization. But let's put him out there, completely screw over your young pitcher by just routine fly balls should be out of the inning. Easy. Nope. Now we're 3 runs down. Cade then settles in. He doesn't have this greatest stuff, doesn't have the best outing, but holy crap, at least we freaking he kept him in the game, only 1 run after that, but it doesn't matter. Orioles lose 4-1. At this point, it's just consistently the same inconsistent Orioles. That's what's the most frustrating part, is it is consistently the most inconsistent Orioles. Shout out Ryan Mountcastle. Um Shout out Jordan Westbrook. I'm just gonna go right into the what's it called? Right into the stats. I'm hanging wrong the wrong buttons. I'm flustered, people. I'm not gonna lie, I'm flustered. Share screen. Yeah. Let's look at Gunnar Henderson 0 for 4. Uh, I'm not worried about Gunnar. Gunnar could go 0 for his next 10. I'm not gonna worry about him. I know the type of player Gunnar is. Um, After that, you go Adley 1 for 4. Jordan Westbrook got robbed a few times. I felt bad for him. Tyler O'Neill 0 for 4. Ryan Mountcastle pretty much the only guy that felt like had any consistency in his at bats besides Jordan Westbrook, who was consistently robbed in all of his at bats. But then you had Gary Sanchez. Gary Sanchez was in the lineup. I mean, he got the walk then one time. Nice. Ramon Arias, or no, sorry, Ramon gets the walk. Jorge Mateo for 2. I agree with you. So here's the thing: the team vibes right now, I think, are. I don't think they're great. I'm not going to say they're horrible right now or they're whatever, because we're going to see what happens over the next few weeks. It is still 10 games into the year, although it feels like honestly, it feels like it's been months already. The way that this year has been going, it feels like we've played 4 seasons in one. But just overall, this team feels like something's just off. There's no confidence. It feels like once the first guys don't really get something going, the rest of the lineup isn't going to step up. I brought it up. Thankfully, Ryan Mountcastle was the one bright spot today for the Orioles with his 3 hits. Cade Povich, overall, after the first inning, it sucks that those are going to go down as he's going to get 4 earned runs. But really, it felt like Cade, even when he didn't have his best stuff today, he still battled. He still gave the ball club an opportunity to win this game. But I don't want to say he spotted them 3 in the first innings, but obviously 3 runs get given up. A lot to do with just an interesting decision to put Jorge Mateo in center field. Um, but this game was just kind of encompassed everything about what's been struggling. It encompassed everything that's been going on with the Orioles this year. You have a pitcher who gives up early runs. Now, a lot of that was due to sloppy fielding, sloppy defense. The defense just seems to, at least once or twice a game, give you some sort of a head scratching moment where you're like, what's going on there? It's just the mental mistakes, misreading fly balls, which we can get into the fact that your backup shortstops even playing center field in the first place. But that happened. You spot the other team 3 runs in the first. So then you're like, okay, we got to battle from behind. Starting pitcher goes on, battles his ass off, and keeps the guys in the game. He settles down, hunkers in, and he just battles. Cade Povich battled today. It wasn't his best outing. He didn't have his best stuff. But if you think Cade Povich was the issue today, I don't know what to tell you. He still ended up going, yeah, 6 innings pitched, 13 hits, not great. 13 hits, not great. He did not have his A game. But if you go through 6 innings, and in my mind, he should have given up maybe 2 runs, 1 run at most. I don't think he should. With that play in the first inning, I think he should have gotten out with a clean inning there. It just Kate Povich did everything he could. Kate Povich did everything he could. 13 hits, you'd love to not see that, but at the end of the day, 6 innings, he probably should have only get credited with 1 earned run. Bullpen, then you go. Sir Anthony did his thing, 2 strikeouts. Yennier get his strikeout, 2 clean innings. The pitching was not the issue again. At the beginning, the pitching was not the issue. It is once again going to go up to your lineup. And the fact that, yes, I'm not worried about him at all in the slightest, but Gunnar Henderson putting up an 0 for 4 in your one hole is not ideal. It's not a great way to start off the lineup. The lineup in general, I know we can talk about reverse splits. Why the hell were Heston and Holiday not in? I completely agree. It just makes absolutely no sense to me after the way that both of them are swinging the bat that they don't get starts today against a guy with reverse splits who he's a lefty, but lefties hit him better. We keep talking about how we want to get Jackson Holiday and Heston Kjerstad more at bats, and especially against lefties. Jackson wasn't ready last year. They sent him back down because they need more work against lefties. We want to get him work against lefties, but not against high-profile lefties like Garrett Crochet. But then we get a lefty with reverse split, so lefties are hitting him better, which means it would probably be the perfect opportunity to put in your young second baseman that you're trying to get going, who is coming off a 3-hit game in which he looked probably the best he has in his entire career. Starting to get his confidence back, you want to get him better at hitting lefties. So a lefty with reverse splits is coming in, so you sit Jackson Holiday. I don't know what analytic. I don't know how much like the analytics. It's getting ridiculous. Like, do they care about analytics? Do they not? Because they go with this whole, we care about analytics. We've listened to the numbers, the numbers, the numbers, the numbers, the numbers. But when the numbers tell them to go lefty lefty, it's, well, you don't do that. You got to stick righty lefty. You got to go. It just seems like they pick and choose the worst times to go, we're going old school baseball versus, we're going with the numbers. Numbers said you should have batted the lefties today. That's the unfortunate thing. And yeah, we can go here. And if they care about the analytics, I doubt there is a single analytic that says that Jorge Mateo is good in the outfield. We've seen him in the outfield. We've seen him before, and that's what's so frustrating is this isn't even one of those things where it's like, okay, let's see if Jorge does well in the outfield. Like, let's give him the opportunity. Jorge's had opportunities in the outfield in San Diego. Did not go well. You can look at the video of the home run going off his glove. He's played outfield here. Made some nice grabs because he kind of misread things and his speed helped him. He's also not looked the greatest. This isn't a first-time thing for Mateo in the outfield. This is a failed experiment that we've seen before. That's just what's so frustrating is that's what's frustrating is we've seen this before. There's no excuse that you can go, we're trying this out. It's been tried out. Like it's been tried out, but multiple organizations now have tried Jorge in the outfield, and it hasn't worked once. It's what's frustrating. It's what's the frustrating part, especially yesterday. The offense looked as good as it gets. Didn't need a single home run to score. They've once again, gosh, what they've hit one home run the last 5 games. Now, obviously, Kauffman Stadium is not the ideal, I guess, home run spot, but overall, they're not hitting the home run ball. And yesterday, it felt like it was the overall best game we've seen from them. And no, we joked about yesterday that everyone was like, here we go. Orioles are getting their swagger back. And we're like, well, here comes the 1-run performance tomorrow. Well, unfortunately, we nailed it. That's exactly what happened. And no one even got the RBI. It was off a wild pitch. And the only reason Mountcastle hit triple is because of a misplayed ball in the outfield that should have been caught. It's been brutal. But this is Kevin and Zach React. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Go live after every single Orioles game, win or lose. Joining me now, covering on the other half, Kevin Ostraker. Kevin, they are consistently inconsistent. You got to give it to them.
They are. We have now actually upgraded to consistently and consistently consistent, because they don't have 2 versions anymore. They have 3 versions. We've gotten a little better, although it doesn't feel any better. They either only hit solo homers, they hit no homers and drive everybody in without them, or they just scored no runs at all. And unfortunately, we went behind door number 3 today, because I'm really not counting the 1 run as a run. So
no.
It's frustrating. I mean, you might have already said it on the stream here, but I texted Zach when Mateo misplayed that ball, and I said, the second I saw Mateo in center field, I immediately thought of you, because,
it's ridiculous.
The notion of a punt lineup has always been like, I get it, but this was about the puntiest of punt lineups I've seen in a while, and if only for the sole reason that Jorge was in the center field. And that doesn't make me feel good, especially, rooting for a team that's supposed to be contenders, supposed to be in contention. Yeah, we're early in the season, but a lot of we've said this about a lot of the games where it's like, oh, it's just one game. It's added up to about 4 or 5 games at this point. And that becomes a bit of an issue where, yes, they can figure things out, and yes, they can do this, but these are early concerning things that we're seeing so far. Yes, they've had a lot of positives too. They've done a lot of good things, but I think more often than not, I think the concerning thing for me is that whether it is the defense, which is horrendous right now, by the way, when we said this too, it's the defense was really bad last year. We came on here after a lot of games and said, man, look at that 3 in the error column. They've had an error in 6 straight games, all of this. And we're continuing to see stuff like that happen. And it contributes, and they're leaving their starters out to dry. They left Cade Povich out to dry today. They left Dean out to dry yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days ago. I mean, this is, it's a concerning trend. And again, there are 2 schools of thought when you look at it. It's one, it's a whole new season, and we shouldn't evaluate until a month, 2 months into the year. Or it's, we have been seeing these things for the past 3 or 4 months dating back to last season, and it's largely the same team outside of a few pieces here and there. So it's a continuation of what we are seeing, because the Orioles are 45 and 49 or something since the All-Star break last year. They're under 500, I think. So
yeah, they definitely are. And I mean, Kevin, we talk about the offense, you need to score runs. Here's where the inconsistency comes in. I'll go through the Orioles run scored starting at opening day. They've gone through the first 10 games, 12 runs, 2 runs, 9 runs, 1 run, 8 runs, no runs, 4 runs, 2 runs, 8 runs, 1 run.
Yeah,
So, like, tomorrow, like, should we just prepare to score tomorrow, and then the next day we're like, should we just throw out bullpen games? Like, just be like every other game, we just call up someone from AAA to start because we're like, hey, we're not scoring a single run today, so we don't want to waste an arm. That's where the frustrating part is. You every other day you see the potential. It feels like you go out there and every day you see okay, one day they look like today, and you're like, yeah, this team genuinely might not make the playoffs. Like the amount of holes are just insurmountable, especially when you take into account the defense struggling. It feels like, when the pitchers are on, the offense isn't. When these pitchers are struggling, the offense, like, it just feels like this team, one day you're sitting there going, okay, this is how we're gonna make the playoffs. This is the way that this team can make a run. It's going to be through the offense. We've been sitting there all off season, Kevin, saying everyone's worried about the pitching. This team's going to go as far as the offense, and that the offense is going to have to make up for pitching at times.
Yeah.
Scoring one or no runs every other day is not making up for pitching,
And you're exactly right, where we wouldn't be nearly as frustrated if we knew that, oh, hey, this Orioles offense is kind of weak. They don't have the hitters to be consistent. Like, they don't have the power. We're not in that world. The Orioles have talent on the offensive side of the ball. Yes, they're missing Kowser right now, but they did get Gunnar back, and he's getting into the groove of things, I guess. But, I know it was a rough series overall for Gunnar for the most part. So
yeah.
I just feel like we're not in a world where it's like, okay, the Orioles are expected to have a middling offense this year, or just above average, or just below average. This is supposed to be one of the best offenses, like top 5, no question offenses in baseball. And that, to me, when you look back at the trends from last season, and again, how much you want to weigh those, I think it just varies on who you are, varies on, who you talk to, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But honestly, we talked about, and I know Ben McDonald talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess, at this point, where he was like, yeah, it's the offense is going to carry the team. And while I definitely agree with Ben, I've almost more so shifted into it's going to be the defense that's going to have to be the X factor here. Like, it's the offense that's supposed to carry the team, but it's the defense that's going to win or lose them games. Like, that,
Yeah.
I think, is where it is, because we're talking about a 1-1 game if Mateo doesn't misplay that ball in center field. And that's just, I think, for a young pitcher seeing that, I do think it threw Cade off. And yes, 13 hits, he scattered those. But again, it's like you leave a young pitcher out to dry. You left Dean out to dry a couple of days ago. Your defense hasn't been good dating back to last season and very far into last year. So it's difficult, because when you look at this team, Zach, I mean, do you think that they're contenders or pretenders through the first? What are we at? 10 games right now? 11 games? I don't even know how many games in we are. 10 games. 10 games. Do you think they're contenders or pretenders?
One sec, Kevin. I'm counting. So 22 pitches in the first inning, real fast. I'm just talking about Cade. After that, he goes 6 innings. The next 5 innings, I guess let me go back to his total pitch count. He threw about 60 pitches, 66 pitches over the next 5 innings. So he was on a good pace, and so many of that is after the drop in the first inning, where, yeah, you do leave a guy like Cade out to dry. And that's what's so frustrating, is he worked his ass off to keep him in the game that was seemingly lost as soon as that ball was dropped. And Kevin, it's because of moments like this, I'll answer your question. It feels like they're pretenders, because it feels like they're sitting there, and more often than not, we're not sitting here going, damn, gotta give it to the Royals. They just sprayed the ball all over the park today. O's couldn't get it going, whatever. It was, the Orioles literally dropped the ball. Like, the Orioles they couldn't get anything on offense, but they found themselves in a game that they should have been in, that they should have been tied in, most likely, if Jorge catches that ball. That's what's so frustrating is, and it wasn't, and this was what is just killing me, is it wasn't like it was a tough play where it's like, oh, it's up in the sun, you had to make a running grab. It's just like, it was a tough, it had a 99% catch rate. According to like the analytics, it was 99% catch rate. Balls caught 99% of the time. He was shaded over there. Cedric Mullins literally would have ran there, could have tripped, made a snow angel, signed a few autographs, and then could have caught it. Like, that's the biggest frustration, is it wasn't even a play where you're like, oh, okay, like, yeah, an outfielder would have caught that. Any baseball player should have caught that. Like, any professional baseball player should have caught that. Like, that is just casually shagging fly balls in the outfield during batting practice. That wasn't he's full sprint, running, misses the ball. On those, I'd be like, okay, he's not an outfielder, whatever. Like, that's going to happen. That ball's just got to be like, that is a basic fly ball. That is an easy fly ball to just off the bat, just run over. And he was just cruising to it. Like, it looked like he had it. And then it's like, oh, like, oh, Kevin.
It feels too early to have one of the Zach rants of the season.
I know. We can't start game 10, but it's. I'm telling you,
I mean, it has to.
We're two
I don't
losses
know.
from it. We're a loss or two, looking like this away from we're getting a real Zach rant on this show.
We do have the Yankees losing, which is always nice. But
and I see people asking for I can't, in good faith, play the Yankees lose song when the Orioles are playing like this, and we are now 4-6 after a loss. If we had won today and we'd gone 2 straight, I'd be blasting that crap right now. But I can't play it in right. Kevin, we're the Jorge playing outfield got us dangerously close to a Zach rant. I'm gonna be honest. That was.
I mean, like, I wouldn't have blamed you
if like I was watching the game and my blood started. I literally texted you. I was like, I'm fuming right now. Like, if that would have happened, if we would have been live during that, the rant would have been Heston Kjerstad-esque. Like, I was that pissed because of me, like, of course, I'm on Twitter the whole morning and I'm like, there's no way, like, this is a joke. Like, we're actually, like, I'm texting people. I'm like, here we go again. Like, Jorge Mateo, we're playing this, fever dream again of like, what if Jorge's, because he's fast, he's good at outfield. Like, any other organization hasn't tried that already. And then just in the most, how can you not be romantic about baseball way ever, 2 batters in just changes the game. Like, that's what's just most frustrating, is it was immediately like everyone's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that, Hyde. Like, maybe let's not put our backup shortstop in center field. Like, let's try that out. And it's like, no, we're going to see what happens. It's like, okay, let's see if he helps our young pitcher that we're trying to get going. It's confident. Nope, drops the ball. It's now a 3-run inning instead of a no-run inning.
Yeah, and I'm scrolling through your Twitter and I see Jamar Laxon saying there's no greater rivalry than Zach Ballinger and Jorge Mateo playing the outfield. It's so true.
I cannot. Oh my God, it pisses me off more than anything. That, at least, like, Ryan O'Hearn, we've put in the outfield enough that I'm like, that's just going to happen. Like, if he's playing right field at Camden Yards, I don't love it. I don't like it. But, like, I'll let him cover there. The fact that we're having a shortstop have to cover all of Kauffman Stadium out there, just unbelievable. Like, the worst stadium you could have possibly picked it in.
It's like, who could have predicted this was going to happen? Oh, wait, literally
everyone.
Literally
just everyone.
Have you talked about Cade at all yet, or the pitching yet, or have you just been...
I've been going back and forth. I talked about how just overall it sucked for Cade because battled, kept it where it was, and then Seranthony comes in, he gets the job done. Yenninger comes in, he gets the job done. Pitching was great. Like, was it great? No, but it should have only given up 1 run.
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge him very hard or go too in depth on this. I mean, he scattered his 13 hits around. Yes, it was a rough start to the game, but I mean, the rough start really wasn't all his fault at all. Like, it's not like you can go out there and say, oh, Cade gave up. Like, oh, look at the first inning. They allowed 3 runs. I'm like, yeah, the Orioles allowed 3 runs. Cade Povich, he's not the one that's going to get all that flack from me. Right? This is a team sport, and you saw that to the highest degree in that first inning, because even if you get a guy to hit a soft line drive directly to center field. Sometimes there's an infielder in the outfield. It's crazy to even like, how dumb do I sound saying that? Like, how stupid do I sound? Like, oh, hey, there actually was an infielder in the outfield. And if neither of us and everybody else knew nothing like about the Orioles or about like how it all worked, someone will say, "Are you like, what are you saying? Infielder in the outfield?" And I'm like,
It's
yeah.
what we do. It's what we do, Kevin.
Ugh.
Kevin, I'm putting the link in here real fast.
Yeah, and while you do that, Wally, appreciate you for the $2. No message, but then Wally came back with another $2, so appreciate you for another one, Wally. Do a live full game show once. We can all rant together. We haven't actually thought about doing that. That's actually, I haven't thought about
we
that
have. Well,
before.
for a big game or something, we'll get something.
Yeah,
We'll get something going.
that's a good idea. Yeah, we can try to pinpoint, knock something down on the schedule.
Well,
because we've definitely we've been thinking about doing it for bigger games, but we haven't pinpointed anything yet. So good idea, Wally. We're gonna talk about that. And then Laura,
5 gifted.
What can we say? Thank you, Laura. Absolutely,
Thank you.
the greatest, one of the many greatest we have in this community. All right, let's wait a minute for a couple more call-ins to trickle in, and then we'll get to our first one.
Yeah, Kevin, this is just
we just need to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
I'm gonna take a water break.
Oh, and Tommy with the $2. Appreciate you, Tommy. 50 gifted when Hyde is gone. Hits the notification. Tommy, I don't think you're alone in how you feel about it. I don't think you're alone.
Something tells me if that notification hit tomorrow and we went live, it would probably be our biggest one.
And look, I mean, this was one of the more there have been disappointing Hyde moments. There have been great Hyde moments. This is one of the more disappointing Hyde moments I've had. I mean, there have been a couple, but like the fact that you could tell so clearly this was a punt lineup. And did Hyde say anything about Mullins? Like, was there anything from him after the game?
No, I've not. Not that I've seen.
All right, I'm gonna try to look. Okay. Well, while I'm looking for that, Zach, why don't we bring on our first call in?
Yeah, let's do it. Bring it on.
From the land down under. You know who it is. Yeah. You know who it is.
Hey guys. I'm I got a glove and bat right. So put me in the Orioles outfield because that seems to be the only goddamn qualifications in this day and age. After yesterday's KZR, I went to bed, took a nap for 3-4 hours. I've been awake since then. At 5:15, when Ramon Laureano hit into a double play, I started drinking. I am ready to go. It was about, I want to say 2-3 a.m. when I checked Instagram. Because before that, I was convinced I was going to get to sleep. But didn't do that. So I check Instagram, and I see one of the worst lineups I've ever seen. I was convinced it was an April Fool's prank until I checked the clock and it's April fucking 7th. And I was like, God, Hyde's a bit late to that. But with Hyde's decisions today, it could be an April Fool's prank that he just simply forgot was an April Fool's prank, and he ran that shit out to actually play a full 9 innings of baseball today. Jorge Mateo breaks my heart because last year and the years before that, I have been Jorge Mateo's biggest fan. Jorge Mateo is going to slap as a random Oriole in a Hall of Very Good in 5 years. He's going to be a great reference for that, and that's what he's going to be. Because honestly, people are mad at Jorge. I was mad at Jorge. You should have seen me in the Discord. I was going off. He should have never been put in the position to make that error. Or sorry. It wasn't an error. It was a triple because MLB scores here have been on crack. Kevin and Ben were ready to fight this guy in the parking lot after the game. They were going off on this. They're like, how is this an error? How is this not an error? It's a 99% catch probability, which is the second time we've booted a 90+ catch probability this series. And at least Heston can hit the baseball. Yeah. just Jorge Mateo. He's fast. And guess what? Kansas City showed us textbook how you use that guy. You keep him on your bench, and then when one of your slow fat guys gets on, then you pinch run him. That is how you use Jorge Mateo. You do not use him in center field. You do not use him in the starting lineup over Jackson Holiday, who had a left-on-left base hit. You do not use him over Heston Kjerstad, who's been raking the ball. And guess what? This is a reverse splits guy. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to run out a lineup full of righties.
Yep.
We're going to DH our backup catcher. Could you imagine if we had DH James fucking McCann?
Oh, that would have been a whole other story.
Look, I love James McCann. Gary Sanchez hasn't appealed himself to me. Also, Tyler O'Neill, you're meant to kill lefties. You're smoking the shit out of righties. Have you had a base hit off one base hit? I think he had in the 4-4 game in Boston against Boston. He had a base hit against a lefty. Where the hell is your some of the worst at bats I saw today were out of what's his face? Tyler O'Neill. At least he finally laid out for a ball. At least he finally didn't let a routine fly ball drop in front of him.
Yeah, AJ. I mean, it's how we all feel.
Rightfully so.
I'm running off no sleep. I've been awake since yesterday's KZR pretty much with a 3-hour nap in there. And I have been pissed since the lineup was posted. The lineup was posted today, and I was like, we're either going to score 50 or we're going to get no hit. And I was way closer to the no hit. The only score we had was because Ryan Mountcastle couldn't get out today, even though he didn't even get to face his buddy Hunter Harvey. He was one of the few that – and he smokes a triple and he scores on a pass ball. That being the only run is pathetic. Just pathetic. You could run out a team of T-ballers and they would have put on a more confident performance today.
Yeah, there's a way to easily avoid this is just not put your infielders in the outfield. It's not, it's not like it's been a huge success story before. No. It's not like they've had this huge sample size. Jorge's provided
one highlight play, and that was when he fucking ran his head into the wall last year. Even then, that's not actually that much of a highlight. Such a catch standing. But it looked cool, so we got the highlight. But he's
plus, I think if you're on the Orioles, going back to your O'Neill point, I guess they just transform you, so you just can't hit lefties and you can only hit righties.
And why?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Well, to your point, why is he not? It's why I said earlier. He's coming off a 3-hit game. He's getting hits off lefties. We've talked about he needs to get more opportunities versus lefties. The Orioles said they want him to get more opportunities versus lefties. So a lefty with reverse splits seems like the guy that you would want to go with. But it really is. It was just one of those moments where you watch it and you're just like, is this really what we're doing today? It just felt like there was no rhyme or reason. Yeah. It was like they decided Jackson Holiday was going to get this day off no matter what. And then it was like, this was probably his best chance to get something going, continue his confidence. Hell, if you're going to throw out this lineup and you're like, we're going to just bat all the bench, put Jackson Holiday at 5th, give him a bunch of at bats, Yeah. I share your frustration. This was
Ryan
lineup. He was the only one that showed up.
Smoking it.
Only one that felt like they were doing anything.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I mean, I would have caught that ball in center field, and I'm not exactly a gold glover by any stretch of the imagination. It's just hard to watch. ChatGPT could have run out a better lineup. You throw in all the names of Orioles and just tell ChatGPT, give me a 1 through 9. It puts out a better lineup than we saw that.
This is one of the most punty punt lineups I've seen in a pretty long time.
And we don't have Austin Slater to give us that punt lineup magic, which I know Zach.
Jesus.
That's the difference. You could have put him in center. And that'd be fine.
Yeah, at least Austin Slater could have played the outfield. At least he's an outfielder.
Larry Sanchez in center, and he would have fielded that ball.
I think next time Brandon Hyde just has to put himself in center, and that's going to be the solution.
Genuinely, his ear would have caught it, but
oh god.
Look, I'm not the one to just be negative all the time. I know I come in here fired up, but it's because I love this team.
Yep.
embarrassed at how they have played recently. We have not won 2 straight games. We were asking for 3 straight games last year. How fucking spoiled of us.
I've been asking for 3 straight games since
There we
July.
I don't think we're getting 3 straight.
We haven't had a winning streak. And if you call 2 games a winning streak, you're not a winning franchise. We look like the White Sox. I think the White Sox have a better record than us right now, don't they? The Marlins have a better record right now, don't they?
I was going to say, it is getting close. I think the White Sox. I don't think the White Sox have a better record.
White Sox are 2-7.
Okay.
So.
But the Yankees are going to beat the shit out of us if we play like this. I hate to break it to us. Torpedo bats or not, they could go up there, swing. You know the story of, I can't remember who the batter was, but he went up there with a broomstick because Mariano Rivera was pitching, and the ump got mad at him. He was like, I'm not going to get a hit anyways. This is what the Orioles lineup feels like. 1 through 9, it doesn't matter who's pitching. They go up there, goddamn broomstick. They just can't hit.
No.
It's true. The only thing is,
only every other day.
I'm worried about Gunnar. I'm not worried about Gunnar at all. He's going to win an MVP at some point in his career. I hope it's with Baltimore, because look at Bobby Witt robbing the hell out of Westbrook today.
Westbrook.
Just absolutely robbing us. Diving catches, double play turns, and he is everything. But he also gives me hope for Gunnar, because they talked about his defensive stats in the past, and he had like negative 11 defensive runs saved in his rookie season. And Gunnar, as much as I love him and as much as he can make the flashy play, he is a league average defender. So that gives me hope he could do more than that if you look at Witt. But oh my God, can we play a bad outfield? Can we just –
No, we're going to get Gold Glovers every time.
Gold Glovers every time. Can we just play a game against our own fucking fielding? Because apparently we'll score if that's the case.
We'll hand ourselves about 6 runs if that's the case.
Yeah. And Cade Povich shoved today. He has 1 earned run in my book.
It should be 1 earned run.
The scores have been pathetic this year. Did you see that one with Tarek Skubal where he gets a ground ball and the second baseman looks at second?
Oh and then throws it to first
as earned. Ridiculous.
I'm sure the Orioles are going to protest it. They'll probably send something to the league, and they'll get try to get a stat correction, which would be massive if they get a stat correction, because then at least Cade would just get probably 1 earned run, 2 at most.
Which if your number 5 pitcher can give you 1 earned run, if he can give you 4 earned runs from your number 5, high octane offense we have, because I am kind of, and I'm one of the, we have, I'd argue, a top 3, top 4 lineup in the league as far as depth is concerned. But the problem is, the big benefit with depth is if you're top of the line, your stars, your all-stars, your MVP candidates, if they hit, and you're going to win games.
Yeah.
But they have bad days, then your 6 through 9 can hit. The problem with our lineup is it is so deep, but it hits 1 through 9 or it doesn't hit.
Yep.
And lineup is that anyone can be the guy, but the problem is everyone is the guy or no one is.
And that's the biggest thing, is when we talk about they're consistently inconsistent, it has been 1 through 9. It is you pretty much know in the first inning what kind of day the entire lineup's going to have, because they feed off each other, and it's not always, like you said, a good feeding off each other. It's not always, we got momentum, we're going to carry this and keep it rolling. Sometimes it's, shit, first guys went 1, 2, 3. Second inning, they went 1, 2, 3, and you're like, it's that type of we're feeding off each other where, and even when they get the opportunity then, in what I believe it was the second inning today, Jorge gets up with an opportunity. You get a single, at least you limit the damage. You get that at least 1 across. You start chipping away again, pop out in foul territory. They're not even competitive is the issue.
There were some disgusting at-bats today. It was even something as simple as 3-1, a fastball hitter, lefty killer. First of all, they're flexing the Orioles lefty killers, and they put Gary Sanchez's .702 OPS on the board, and I was like, are we being for real right now? A good
Orioles don't have
average. Are we kidding? At least a little leaguer would go up there and they'd hack at every pitch. They'd give it their all. 3-1, Gary Sanchez, a fastball hitter, takes a fastball right down the pipe. You couldn't have put it more in the middle. and then he swings and he strikes out on a changeup 10 feet off the zone. Just at bats today from Tyler O'Neill's at bats look disgusting today.
The majority of them have recently.
Hopefully
and
they
like
can just
you
get
said,
more consistent with it. Like, again, I hate saying the word. I take a shot for the word consistent.
Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have,
but it's the whole team. The whole team.
right?
Yeah.
They bring in guys, and they it feels like the Orioles just don't rely on 1 through 9. They have to. Yesterday they have a great game. The offense is doing everything, and instead of being like, okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, they're like, let's blow the whole thing up and let's see what happens tomorrow. It's and that's going to hurt guys in the long run. It is Jackson not getting consistent at bats against lefties. Kerstead not getting consistent at bats. They're relying on guys like Gary Sanchez to come help them win a series. It's those things where it's
today. Over Gary Sanchez. Like, I'm not even hating on the guy. He's a backup catcher. I'm not expecting the world out of him. Why are we DHing him? What are we doing? Well, Kerstead is great in the minors. He has great stats against lefties in a very small sample size. Admittedly, he has good stats against lefties in the majors. He is. Talked about it yesterday, Zach. He's not just a power hitter. He has 30, 40 home run power in that bat when he's on. But he's also pure he's like almost like a Juan Soto type where he knows the zone, he has power, but he will grind out an AB when he's on. And we're not giving him the opportunity to do that. We're not developing our young guys. Hyde was the perfect manager for us to rebuild from the White Sox of last year, to rebuild from 100-loss Oriole teams that I've experienced for most of my life. I had to take a break from watching baseball, and I kind of picked it back up in 2022, 2023, because it just we were losing all the time, and I was a kid. I didn't have an attention span to watch all that shit.
But that is the tough part. Hyde was great at that part. Elias has been great at building the team. Now suddenly the expectations are no longer get better. It's go win a championship. And we see them
playoff. Right. Go more than one run.
Yeah, and they haven't shown that yet. That's the biggest thing is they have yet to show that.
It's about taking consistent steps, and so far they have not. They've gotten even over the first hump.
They're nothing. It's like they win 100. What was it? 101 games in 23, and they get swept by the Rangers, but they score more than one run. I'll tell you that. Then they don't win the division. They get to the wild card series because they had a bad second half. But you know what? Against admittedly a Twins team that had given up, they start to score some runs. You're like, okay, this just gives the offense a mindset of they can win. And they go against a Royals pitching staff, which I am so sick of Kansas City. It doesn't matter the sport. I'm so sick of Kansas City. Fans shouting overrated at Gunnar. Piss off. They were bitching and moaning they've been moaning about calls all week, and it's like you're not Chiefs. You're not going to get all the calls, but they have actually gotten more calls than we have. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, Kansas City sports, it's the bane of our existence at the moment. It truly is. I'm
like both franchises, Chiefs and Royals, are considering moving to Kansas City. I'm like, please just do something, and hopefully it's y'all's mojo. Like, just hopefully. But another reason Bobby Witt is involved. I love Bobby Witt. He's a generational talent. Yeah, but he's going to be on the Royals for his career because they locked him up to an extension when he was young. We are going to have to pay Gunnar so much money in free agency. If you want to say, we're going to have to pay Adley a fuck ton of money in free agency because we didn't sign him to extensions. Look at Jackson Merrill. Look at who was it that just got Christian Campbell? Just got paid a ton of money. And as much as it's a risk because he hasn't started, Garrett Crochet getting a ton of money from the Red Sox because they locked him up when it was a risk. There's a chance that Christian Campbell doesn't pan out. There's a chance Jackson Merrill flares out after an amazing rookie season. There's a chance Garrett Crochet has Tommy John next week and he never pitches again. But they take that chance because they are competitive, championship-winning mindsets that want to compete, and you understand that to win big, you have to swing for the fences. And the only way the Orioles seem to be able to swing for the fences is with runners in scoring position, and they strike out every time. It's ridiculous, and I love this franchise. I grew up in Baltimore. Like, I know I live in Australia now, but I lived in Baltimore until I was 14. I have so much love for this city. The Orioles have a chance to do something truly special and bring winning baseball back to Baltimore, which it hasn't had since 1983.
Yeah.
And it is a truly
you just hope that they can figure it out. You hope that tomorrow somehow they can turn around. Maybe the road trip, seeing Corbin Burns again, even if it's in the other dugout, fires up somebody. You got the top of the rotation going again. So AJ, appreciate the fire today, dude.
Yeah, that's what we love. That is what we love. We know it comes from a place of love.
So appreciate you, AJ. Hey, it's what we need. It's what we need.
This is what we love. This is what we love.
We got to take a trip to our other Arkansas International call-in. So we'll catch you next time.
I want to thank you guys and thank the KZR just fandom for having a place to vent. I would have lost my damn mind.
You know what? That's exactly what we're here for.
Great.
It's what we're here for.
You guys are great. So thank you for having me on again.
Of course, dude.
Always appreciate you hopping on, and your perfect streak lives. Still lives. 10 games in. You're 10-0. The Orioles are not, but you know what? At least you are.
The Orioles are, what are they now? 4-6?
4-6.
4-6. So
start winning some goddamn ball games. Go beat AZ.
Let's do it. Awesome.
They are not fine, and they need to be.
Not fine at the moment, but hopefully they get there. They get there. AJ, appreciate you as always, AJ. We'll catch you next time.
Peace out, AJ. Man, I think he beat.
I love the fire.
I think he beat you in terms of your. He brought out the glove. He brought out the bat.
He brought out the fire that we needed.
Yeah.
We're gonna head over to our next call-in. He's saying Hogs won, so let's get maybe at least there's something positive to talk about. Joe, how are we feeling?
Woo! I need oxygen after that. Jesus Christ!
AJ brought the fire, baby.
That was wow. Okay, yeah, he did.
How you gonna follow that up, Joe?
Yeah, you got something to follow up.
That might be the first annual clip there with the ball and the bat. That might be.
You know what? He had pretty good form.
That might be the first clip of the year to get people fired up for these call-ins. You know.
You know what?
I love it. Well, you know what? At least one team won today. That's right, Joe.
The Hogs won. Yes, they did. They are 10-1 in SEC play, and they ruled Missouri today, 14-4. So can't be unhappy about that. The weather was crappy. It was like 38 degrees in Fayetteville. Looked like a football game. Everybody was bundled up, and I've never seen college players wearing hoodies over their jerseys to bat, but Missouri was wearing hoodies over their jerseys to bat today. So that was kind of interesting, but
I have never seen that before.
Yeah, I hadn't either, but it was cold. It's like 46 outside my house, so up on the hill it's a little colder. But yeah, they pulled it out. Run ruled, had a 7-run fourth inning, I believe. So I'll take it.
Somebody's scoring. At least one team.
Somebody's scoring and playing baseball, and our third baseman did well today, Brett. Irondale. I can't really say his last name very well, but Aussie, baby. He's from Australia. So there you go.
All right.
We'll make a little connections. But I do have a prop.
Oh.
I do have a prop. I'd like to send this book to Brandon Hyde so he can learn to manage. He might.
That's a pretty good one to learn from.
He might learn a thing or two from that book. So we can't dig Earl Weaver up and bring him back, but maybe
he can learn a thing or two still.
He learned a thing or two from the book about managing baseball and passion.
Yeah, you know what? So he might be able to take a thing or two away.
It might be a good day to. If he needs reading glasses, I'll throw those in the package too. Yeah. And the other thing, so we have an outfielder on the injured list, correct?
You got any infielders you want to put out there?
Hey, Ramon's gonna be out there tomorrow if you don't cut it out, Zach.
when Gunnar Henderson came back, we sent an outfielder to the minor leagues, correct? That doesn't really. So we put an inexperienced guy in center field for no reason when Mullins was 4 for 9 versus this guy. 4 for 9. Yeah. It's not like he didn't hit. He's 4 for 9 with 2 home runs and the best hitter on the team right now. And you're going to just say, the more important question is, does Hyde have full control over these lineups? Or does the analytics from the front office, kind of like the money ball with Billy Bean controlling the strings in the movie a little bit, like, do they call down and go, nah, we're just going to play these guys today? Like, it made no sense.
Which is a fair question.
I mean, Brandon Hyde I get it. You want to play matchups, whatever, but he has to have a better baseball IQ than that. Like, hey,
I don't think Hyde is alone making the lineups. No, I do
like,
not think so. I think Hyde is given. I would even venture to say Hyde probably may have the least amount of say in the lineups. I don't think he goes fully off of, he hands them the lineup that he's written down. I think it is a few people in the analytics team. I think it's the Sigmidels. Those guys also have these inputs into lineups. So,
and this is why Freddie Gonzalez is volunteering at a Division III college in Pennsylvania this year. Yep. That's exactly why.
Mm-hmm. It's like, analytics
it's not. I get it. You want to do it, but when you got hot bats, you just got to play them.
I agree, Joe. I agree, especially when they're playing the way Heston's been playing and those strides he's taken.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to earn that spot when Colton comes back. I mean, because nobody else on that team has options, and obviously they don't want to DFA Mateo. Like, they should have done that when Gunnar came back. It was a pretty easy decision, in my opinion. Like, infielder coming back, we got too many. Thanks for your service, Jorge. Move on.
Yeah,
somebody would have picked him up on weight. Somebody would have picked Mateo up on weight.
Sure. Yeah.
But like,
without a doubt,
the same thing with Ramon Urias, and that's why Rivera's not on the 40-man roster, because as soon as they have to cut him, they know in season someone's going to pick him up. In the wintertime, nobody needed a third baseman utility on their team, so he cleared waivers. But in the season, yeah, you cut a guy like Rivera, somebody's picking him up. Could be Chicago, could be anybody. But I was actually surprised that Kansas City, they got Nick Gordon and gave us some cash. I was shocked they didn't keep him on their team and let Nick Gordon hit a walk-off home run on the Orioles this weekend. That would have been pretty poetic. Like, it wouldn't have happened because you have to score runs in order for the other team to walk you off. But yeah, I was fully expecting Nick Gordon to make an appearance and hit a home run.
You know who else would have caught that ball center? Alex Gordon. That's a throwback name.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Gordon going to KC. Alex Gordon played in KC. So you got to connect the dots here.
Thanks, Kevin.
That's what I'm here for.
Alex Gordon. Okay, thanks.
I almost said Aaron Gordon in honor of the Nuggets, but it's okay. I didn't go that far.
Nobody likes the Nuggets, Kevin.
Hey, I like the Nuggets, and I like boneless. I know, Joe, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'll stick with that too. Yeah. But that was a rough watch. That was. But as soon as the lineup came out, I knew exactly. Yeah, this ain't gonna be good. And I agree. The score, if the official score can change that play, it brings some confidence back to Povich, because you look at that scorecard and see 4 earned runs, and you could tell he got rattled after Mateo missed the ball. Like, it rattled him. He settled down after that.
Yeah, he did. You just gotta hope.
You can't ask for much more. So
no, he battled. He did exactly what you hoped from him, especially given the hand he was dealt in the first inning. For him to battle, go through 6 innings, only giving up 1 more run, that's exactly what you want.
And Cano coming in, not in a high pressure situation, looked good. So that's good. I fully expect Batista to pitch tomorrow, whether it's 50-2 or 3-1. You got to get the man some work. So, and they're in Mountain Time tomorrow. So it's Mountain Time.
Mountain Time.
Gotta get it done. Show Corbin what he's missing out on, even though they're missing him this series.
You gotta go Mountain Time. But yeah, That's all I got. It's going to be a little tough the next 3 days because it is West Coast games, and I go back to work tomorrow. So,
Man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
But-
I actually.
Well,
kind
you
of
know
forgot
we'll be
that
here,
West
even if
Coast
it is just for a second call, and if you want to keep the streak alive. But you do have 5 mulligans. You do have 5
I
mulligans.
will. I will not be using them. I will definitely be awake because I'm a jabroni
All right.
like that. But yes, I'm gonna get Brandon High's address and send him that book, and maybe it'll help him a little bit. So, and on the way out, we're going Phil Bradley.
I like it, Joe. Appreciate you as always, and we'll see you late night tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yes, guys. Later.
Peace
Later.
out. Boom. And also,
And
before I leave, because I have to go.
yeah,
I have
before
a
we
dinner
head
I have
off.
to get to. Well, I know you're staying on, but I'm.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna hit. We have to go, AJ.
AJ, you're the man. Appreciate you, AJ. Yeah, and you are number 1 in the rant book, in my opinion. Zach now is dropped down to number 2. So Zach, you have something to live up to now. All right.
I know, I do. So appreciate you,
Yeah.
AJ.
All right.
As always.
I'm
Yeah,
popping
Kevin,
off.
you hit that, and then
All right,
we're gonna take the rest of these
round
calls
us out and make us proud. Yep.
Yeah, there's too much to talk about, Kevin. So
I
we'll
know.
catch
Hey,
you later.
people want to
We're gonna
talk.
move
I
on.
wish I could stay, but
Yeah, we've got what the people need to be heard, Kevin. So we'll catch you later. The
All
other
right.
5.
Yeah. Peace. I almost ended the stream by accident, but I'm just gonna.
Oh my!
It's so natural for me to end the stream. Okay. I'm gonna just leave the studio. I'm gonna keep the stream going. All right.
Please don't end the stream. Please
Yeah.
don't
All
end
right.
the
And
stream.
you know who my random loyal of the day is today? Or him too.
Appreciate you. And real fast, Duran, shout out you, my guy. Pleasure to meet you as well. You're awesome. So appreciate you. Moving on to our next one, we got the Martins talking some ball. How's it going, guys?
It is
going.
It is going.
Boy.
Want to let
Yeah.
everyone
Hi.
know. Want to let everyone know we found the new center fielder for the Orioles.
No,
She
we
could have
need
caught that
one.
ball.
She also has a great arm. She knows how to throw things very far.
I love it. I love it. At this
You
point,
say hi?
anyone can play center field.
You say
Hey,
hi?
I'm telling you, she could have. Oh, that hurt to watch.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
right.
That
It's
was-
rough.
But no. So
Daddy has opinions.
I have opinions on. Ooh.
Yeah.
hit me
So-
with it. What are we
Yeah.
feeling?
First and foremost, just one of
Stay.
easy ones. Feel terrible for Povich. He worked his ass off today. Did he pitch perfectly? No. Did he pitch good enough to win the game? Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think?
And no run support. It's just it's terrible.
Right?
It's terrible.
So bad.
And
It's how I feel about the run support too, so it's okay.
I'm telling you.
It makes everyone upset.
yeah, and everyone keeps talking about like the lineups and analytics. Savannah has opinions today too.
But this is why we do it, Savannah. Everyone's welcome.
So speak your truth. Speak your truth.
That's Zach, what you think?
Yeah.
What do you think of the game?
I would be upset. Yeah, me speechless too.
Silence.
Let
Honestly,
me
there are
speechless
just no
too.
words, is what she's saying.
Yeah. But,
No words
but
to describe the disappointment.
Yeah. On that point though, like it's game 10. Why are we not playing our best guys? I don't want to hear, oh, they need the rest, or
Yeah, it doesn't make
What
sense.
rest from doing what?
and
Exactly.
What is the fascination with Baltimore sports and analytics? Computers don't play baseball. Computers don't play football.
Neither does Mateo.
Oh yeah, but like
I know everyone's like, "Oh, Mateo doesn't have an option." Yeah, he does. Shit or get off the pot.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
option.
It's at this point, and with guys coming back eventually with Cowser in a few months, and they're going to have to make decisions. I mean, if they ever do want to see a Kobe Mayo up, there's going to be guys that are going to have to leave. And right now, I don't know if their thinking is, okay, let's try this Jorge in center field to see if he has some more value to keep him on the team or not. And he's proving them once again wrong. But it is one of those things where it feels like the option is produce or you're gone. So
Yeah.
I agree. It does feel like, yeah, that's your final option. It's not, hey, we're going to keep giving you this leash and stuff. And I know he's coming back from injury and stuff. His arm injury had no impact on him catching that and dropping that fly ball. It's the lack of playing the outfield in his career and the fact that he shouldn't be playing center field in a Major League Baseball game.
Yeah. I am quite enjoying the addition of O'Neill on all aspects, fielding, just everything. I like that addition this year.
He's solid. He had a little bit of an off day with the bat, but I mean, overall, in 10 games, you can't be upset with how he's performed.
No. And he's been one of those guys that he was kind of the, what are we going to get from him? And so far, everything has been decently positive where you go away thinking that, okay, he is a reliable batter. Now, weirdly, it feels like he was brought in to hit lefties and all he's done is hit righties and struggle against lefties, which you're like, that's baseball for you. But it is one of those things where, so far in a 10-game sample size, it's hard not to be satisfied with how O'Neill's played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
you had opinions on Povich.
Well, no, I just felt bad for Povich, but I guess my last little bit I wanted to say was I've thought about this way for years. In football, when things are going wrong, you know what's hitting the fan. You see your leaders rally the players together. They're hyping each other up and be like, you got to get it together. You never see that in baseball. Like, before y'all go out to the field, bring it together, guys. Get it together. What are we doing? You never see that. You don't see that from managers. You don't see that from your leaders. I would have loved to see Tyler O'Neill or Mullins, whoever, gather the guys up, smack them in the head a little bit. Get it together, guys. Like, you don't see that.
And whether it's in the – I was going to say, whether it's in the dugout or it's in the clubhouse, it doesn't always need to be, in the open. But it does feel like this team needs somebody to be like, hey, the hell are we doing? Like, what are we – what's going on here? Why, we got to get this going because, it does feel like right now everyone's kind of playing their own separate games and they're not coming together as a team.
There's no cohesion. It's last year, even when times got tough or whatever, everyone rallied. Everyone – you could tell that they were playing for each other. This feels just everyone's trying to play their own game, but they're all playing different games. Mateo's out there playing checkers. Everyone else is playing Parcheesi, and it's just no one's playing baseball.
It's how it feels, though, unfortunately. It does feel like at times, especially where in situational hitting, it's like just get the guy over, and the next guy can get him in, but everyone wants to hit the go-ahead home run. Everyone wants to be the star. Everyone wants to be the big.
That's the thing.
And then we are striking out.
We play these teams, and they're so good at small ball, and then just hitting the ball. But they play like every game needs to be a home run, and every at bat needs to be a home run. What happened to Adley not taking the first pitch and getting that ball? Like, we're swinging at things we shouldn't be swinging at, and we're not swinging at things that are. Like, again,
right down the middle. What was Sanchez doing on that 2-1 or 3-1 that went right down the middle at the knees?
They're all playing scared. They're hoping to get put on base. They would rather get put on base than go earn the base. So it is just all. It seems like a mental side right now that's missing. It just seems like they're either being way too passive or they're being way too aggressive. And they've yet to find that perfect in between of where they're just playing their game. It feels like either one guy goes up and he's trying to put every ball in play, and the next guy's going up and he's like, if you throw 3 right down the middle, I'm hoping you walk me. So they've yet to find that comfortability in the middle.
And it doesn't help that every time they pan over to Hyde, he's just sitting there with the deadpan look on his face.
Yeah, he's very good at that.
Decisions that he's making. I was over him last year.
Yeah, I don't think he's earned any supporters this year or earned anyone's support back yet. Yeah,
but,
no.
Silver lining. It's game 10. There's
152 more to go.
Just a few more to go. Yeah,
we got this.
Just a few, baby.
Do we see Burns on this next trip out to Arizona?
No, we miss him. We miss Burns, which is bittersweet. I would have loved to hit like 10 homers off him, but I'm sure he would have shut us out. So
he would have gone for a no on us with the way we're playing right now.
Yeah, he would have actually produced.
Probably. Always a pleasure talking to you guys. Hope you guys have
I
a
just
great
want to
rest of
shout
your
out real
Sunday.
quick to Laura for
Yeah,
gifting me my membership for the month. Thank you so much, Laura. You are
yeah,
a rock star.
thank you,
You say
everybody
thank
who's been
you.
gifting.
Say bye bye.
It's
Okay,
so great
bye.
talking to you guys as always, and I'm
You
sure
say
we'll
bye
be
bye.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Zach.
appreciate you guys. And Pocket Watch with college basketball over. I'm all on the O's. Pocket Watch, maybe you are the missing link. Sorry about your Auburn Tigers. That was a tough one, but glad to see you're back fully in on the O's. We're going back international real fast, overseas. Bring on British Raven. Nick, how we doing?
The lighting is exactly how I feel. I
Yes.
realized today two things. One, Jorge Mateo can't catch shit. Two, this light turns red.
You just found that out?
Yep. Found that out today. You know what? Jorge Mateo is that poor at catching, you're probably going to miss the team flight.
Yeah,
He
I
ain't
hope they.
catching that plane. He's staying at home.
Nick, it's true though. How did I catch that? He was shaded over there. But they literally positioned him to sit in that spot. They were like, "Hey, dude, he's hitting it right here," and he hit it right there, and he just walked over and missed it. Made no sense.
I'm pretty sure Rocco DeSangro could have caught that ball, and that guy's a fraud.
That's how bad it was. Rocco probably could have caught it.
All
It's
he had to do
probably
was this.
literally just walk over to it. And that's what also kind of bugs me is how casual it also looked. Like he would just kind of like jogged over, like, oh, yeah, oh. And you were like, Jorge, like it wasn't like a full speed. It wasn't like, at least
Come on,
with
Jorge, do
Heston.
a baseball. Come on, do a baseball.
Yeah, like at least with Heston, like it got caught. You clearly told off the bat, you're like, oh, he does not see this. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, this is he's looking at Cedric to hope he sees it. This was Jorge just kind of gliding over, and you're like, okay, 2 outs. Then you're like, why is Bobby Witt Jr. on third?
Yeah. It made no sense to me as to how that even made it to the floor. It's like at least with Heston's drop that he made yesterday,
Mhm.
there was kind of a reason. There was a wild Cedric Mullins running straight for him.
Yeah.
You probably
This
thought
was
maybe
just
he said he was going to take it,
mhm.
drops it. Oh, well, he made up for it.
Yeah. Jorge didn't. Jorge had the opportunity actually literally the next half inning to make up for it. He gets a single, hell, he hits a gapper, something down the line. It's 3-2 suddenly. And now you're like, okay, Jorge, hate that but you got your guy back. That, that one run that, you dropped, at least you would have gotten that back. The runs that came after you'd still be upset about, but you're like, you know what? We're chipping away. It would have given the Orioles a little more confidence on offense because the one thing that, we haven't really talked about so far today is I did not think Bubik was pitching that well. Like it did not feel like the Orioles should have been going 1-2-3. Like they were just, hard contact that was getting stopped. Westbrook probably could have had the 3-hit game if it wasn't for Bobby Wood Jr. by himself. But it just felt like the Orioles were finding different ways to just stay out, get in their own way.
I agree, but it's like I said 2 days ago. It only takes one piece of adversity for the Orioles to default to factory settings, and that was the domino effect that was like, you know what, we're not going to play small ball today. We're just going to hit everything that we can, and by everything is nothing because what did it result in? Nothing.
Nothing. As soon as adversity, like you said, and that's the perfect way to put it. Is recently it feels like, oh, something happened. Oh, Jorge drops the ball. Okay, you just got to get out of this now. Nope, you can't.
It's
And
an
then even
excuse.
after, I mean, Jorge gets, drops that whatever sack fly. It's 2 outs, no one on. It should have ended there, but then obviously, that's where Cade needs to work out of that. Your defense isn't always going to pick you up as a young pitcher, but it just really genuinely sucks because Cade probably should have gone out there today and only gotten 1 earned run. He pitched, wasn't great, but he pitched well enough to get that through 6.
Yeah, 3 runs came after that drop.
Mm-hmm. And that's the difference in the game.
Yeah.
Literally.
I don't think Cade pitched terribly today. I thought he was shoving.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
giving up 13 hits, pitching well to contact, which good shit. On 4 runs.
Yeah.
He
3 of which
he
we
pitched
think could
well
be
enough to
unearned.
win. Yeah.
Yeah. For him to, like I said, the final 5 innings in 66 pitches, even when they were getting hits, it was early in counts. He was being effective, weak contact, finding double plays. He did exactly what you want. He looked like a veteran pitcher out there. It wasn't his best stuff, but he found a way to make it work. And in all honesty, he kept the team in the game. There was no reason with the way the offense was playing that they should have felt confident in that they were in the game, but he kept them in the game.
Not a single walk issue either.
No, which was also awesome to see. And if he avoids walks, that is his when he's at his best.
Exactly. He looks a lot more composed. Cade Bipovich.
Cade Bipovich.
Yep. He's here and he's coming to an MLB stadium near you.
It was one of those things where I was happy for Cade, but you also just feel bad for him because it wasn't his best stuff. He still found ways, but for him to be, he's got to take a loss after pitching like that and battling the way he did. It's going to be a tough realization for the young kid. Maybe he'll be better for it, but definitely hope he understands today was not on him.
Yeah, he was failed, but
yeah,
we've seen it a few times already this season that defense has failed this team.
Yeah, it feels like it. We bring it up at least every other day, if not every day.
Like. Yeah, we get one big win and then it's back to shit.
Then it's back to we're sitting there being like,
yeah,
here we go again.
Today's game was basically like when you put the milk in a cup of tea before the tea bag.
Just
that is sacrilegious.
I was gonna say that was definitely a British thing, and I was just like, it kind of went over my head at first, but then I'm glad we got there. I'm glad we got there.
Yeah,
but today was just a tough one, man.
Yeah,
that was
a hard one to swallow, but thankfully it wasn't the 2:45 game that I'm going to be seeing tomorrow. So I'm hoping today was the getting the terrible out of the way. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. I hope so. Nick, appreciate you as always. I'm sure we'll see you bright and early for you. I guess not tomorrow, the next day for you. No, I guess
it'll be Tuesday morning for me.
But I was going to say Tuesday morning. So
I'll be going through the entire day. Pain.
Appreciate you as always, my friend. And we will hear from you tomorrow. Appreciate the streak lives on. The streak lives on. Nick, appreciate you. And I'll see you next time, my friend. Awesome. And we got a few more callers. Next up, we're going to go Jabo. Actually, one sec. Oh, we brought so many people on. My bad. Jabo. We brought Jabo and Steve on. Jabo, you're first. Jabo, how's it going?
Oh, my gosh. Where to begin? Well, AJ and Nick and Joe and the Martins and everyone else, they kind of already voiced my thoughts. I think Baby Martin should definitely start in center field. I think she would do a much better job, being
probably
totally honest.
That ball.
Yep, probably catch that ball. And there is good news. Duke lost last night, so that's good news.
That is good.
And the Yankees lost to the Pirates today. That's good news.
Yeah.
So it's not all bad. I'm trying to stay positive. But
you gotta stay positive. Duke losing helps. At least you can kind of still feel from that. Yankees losing, getting walked off. That's just always an added extra little fun. But you got to look for the little wins on days like today. You really do.
That's right. I just have no words. I don't. As my little tagline says, DFA Mateo, fire everyone. It's time to clean house. I think Hyder's got to go. He just looks so apathetic, lethargic. I don't know the word. It just I don't feel any confidence that he's gonna be the guy that's gonna get these guys to start playing. Just play baseball. Just forget about like all the talk about who's getting extensions. I'm sure these guys they see this stuff. They hear the stuff. They just gotta play baseball. The money will take care of itself. And just play ball. It's a game. Just go back to just playing ball. And they have so much talent. It's just so frustrating. So I don't know.
And
It's just frustrating.
I think a lot of people share the same belief as you, is that right now, and what has he shown this year to prove he is the manager? I mean, it's not a
Nothing.
great start to the year. It feels like consistently we're scratching our heads with, okay, why is this decision being made here? Why is this decision being made there? Why is this guy playing now when he's doing this against that guy? It just feels like more often than not. And in recent years, I'll give it to him, we question him a lot, and it's been working out. They've been winning ball games with it.
Right.
Recently, it hasn't been. And, that's the biggest thing is, it has not turned into wins, at least so far this year. Like, if today, if the Orioles go out there and score 8 runs and, win the
Yeah.
game again in commanding fashion, we're all going, damn, you know what? Good on you, Hyder. You did it. You pulled the strings. We didn't agree, but you did it right.
Yeah.
But it hasn't felt like that. It feels like so far this year, it's been one of those things where something gets put out and everyone's like, what are we doing with that? And then it ends up
Yeah.
not going well.
Yeah. I mean, 3 series in, we haven't won a series.
Yeah.
We split Toronto, which was fine. Like 4-game series are tough to win.
Mhm.
So I'll take that starting the year. But these last 2 series, we've just looked really bad. And Mateo, why he's still on this team, I don't understand. We have plenty of speed without him. You can't steal first base. He doesn't get on
Yeah.
base. This
And
is like how many error? I mean, it should have been an error. I think hopefully they change that. The scorers change that to an error and take those earned runs from Povich, because that's not right. I mean, any average ball player makes that play. I
yeah.
mean,
And that's the
I
thing.
just don't get it. I mean, we have
That's what's
Laureano.
frustrating.
Like, play
Yeah.
Laureano. We had
Who
Carlson.
then took over.
Carlson could have
Yeah.
played today. He's a switch hitter. We want to play all righties. He can switch hit. But we play all righties against the pitcher that's reverse splits. I thought we were about analytics on this team. I mean, there's no analytics
What's so
that say play
confusing?
all righties against the lefty reverse splits guy. It just
No.
doesn't make any sense.
And that's where it's frustrating, because you feel like they're so analytics heavy one game, and then the next game they're not. And then the next game they throw it out. And it's like, okay, what
And
are we going with the
yeah.
analytics, or are we going with what analytics are agreeing with what we want to do?
Right.
And then they throw out the analytics that don't. And so
Yeah.
that's where it's frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, Jackson and Heston, these guys, they're gonna have to face tough lefties in the playoffs, assuming, I mean, it's a big assumption that we get there at this point, but we're gonna have to face tough lefties at some point. So why
Yeah.
not put him out against a guy like Waka, who's good, but he's not like elite. So anyway, that's all I got. Thanks, Bali.
Appreciate you as always, Jabo, and always great to hear from you. Also, AJ, appreciate you. I hasn't seemed to care since Kurt. Yeah, that's the God. And Kurt said he was getting his groove going so well leading up to that. That was what was so frustrating about that situation, is it felt like he finally was getting playing time. He was getting consistent at bats, and he was playing well, getting his confidence back. Hit by pitch completely derailed last season. Go move on to our next caller, Steve. Steve, how we doing?
Where do I begin? The only good thing coming out of today, Mountie 3 hits, and the bullpen, the pitching staff as a whole shoved. Povich is not to blame for those 4 runs.
And that's what sucks, because if you look the score, card watchers, the people that just look at the stat book, they're gonna be like, oh, Povich, 3 runs in the first, he struggled yet again, all this. Povich, especially if you take out that first inning, what was just pure craziness after the drop ball, tough as nails. Tough as nails. Went out there, got the job done. 5 innings, 66 pitches, 1 earned run after. I'll take that every single time.
And the best part is no walks.
Mm-hmm. That's probably the most impressive part, especially knowing his walk concern.
I mean, I'll give credit where it's due. Povich wasn't at his best, but after that first inning, he absolutely locked the fuck in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing, is he did not have it. This was not Povich going out there and being like, okay, I've got my A stuff. I've got, my best thing. Everything's working. I can work around guys. I can, strike guys out when I want. It wasn't always working, but he avoided barrels, and he just found ways to get out of situations, even when runners started gaining. They started forming, a little chaos on the bases. runners stealing. It didn't matter what was going on around him. He found ways to get out of the situations.
Exactly. Now, when I saw the lineup and I saw Mateo in center field, I'm thinking to myself, what in the hell is Hyde smoking?
Mm-hmm.
Because you said it earlier in the show, Zach. Mateo in center field was a failed experiment.
Yeah.
It should have never come to light again.
And it's not even a failed experiment just with us. Like it's happened in multiple organizations, and they've been like, well, that doesn't work. We've seen multiple teams attempt it. We're not, some groundbreaking experiment here. Like, oh, what if we try Jorge Mateo? And every organization he's been with has tried that, because it's like, what else are we going to do? Where else can we try him?
Exactly. I mean, you could have put, let me see. You probably could have put Laureano in left, O'Neill in right.
Maybe probably. Laureano could play center. You obviously, first off, I think you just shouldn't have sat Seti today. I think with the way he's swinging, I get that they're trying to,
I think
and
Seti lifetime against Bubic was what, 4 for 9 with the dong?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it wasn't.
And Holiday's heating up. Kerstad's heating up.
Already. Sit them all.
All three in a game against a lefty in which Kerstad and Holiday both started hitting lefties hard.
Okay. And here's where it's like frustrating. See, like you're saying, like, it wasn't like the last time we saw them against lefties. It was like, oh, they're still struggling. They both got RBI hits last time. It's what's frustrating. It's like they literally are getting the RBIs. They're coming through in the situations. Get them more at bats, because they're not always going to be against lefties who have reverse splits. It's going to be against Garrett Crochet in massive situations. It's going to be against, hell, if you go all the way to the World Series, go against the Dodgers, it's going to be against Tanner Scott in the ninth. You're going to always be against these tough lefties. You can't just go, well, against tough lefties, we're going to just hold them off. And then when you get a very hittable one, you're going to go, well, we're going to hold them off here. Build them up. Build up their confidence against these guys. It just feels like they're getting in their own way with this development.
Exactly. And it's like you said, with the Red Sox in the division, you're going to see Crochet numerous times.
With the Max Fried.
You're going to see Fried multiple times. And then you look at other teams in the American League to boot. You've got teams. Exactly. Granted, Baltimore missed him this turn, but Kansas City's going to Baltimore in May. So there's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And now you go to an Arizona team that just lost, 2 of 3 to the Nationals this weekend? And Burns got lit. You're facing Gallen game 1. Mm-hmm. You're facing Fott in the finale. I can't remember who's in the middle game. But the Orioles have their 1, 2, and 3 guys going in that series. That should be 2 out of 3. If not, and I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it, because the last time I said something about that S word with the Orioles were the ones that got swept.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say that. But you got to go to Arizona, take at least 2 out of 3, especially with Cattell on the IL.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to Baltimore for Toronto, I believe, to start the home stand.
Next weekend is against Toronto. That's one that I believe 3 games you got to win those. You have to take 2 out of 3 versus Toronto, especially because now with Toronto, of your 13 games against them, you're 4 games in, you're split 2 and 2.
Yep.
Especially if it comes to a tiebreaker, and hell, Toronto could be a team you're competing in the wild card with for a tiebreaker. You need to take that. If you got to win that series and take a 4-3 series lead, because it comes down to the final 6 games that you can afford to lose. Go 3-3 in those final 6 games and not have to go 5-1, 4-2. It takes some pressure off there. but it starts with you got to, you got to get some consistency. I don't know. And it starts in Arizona. You can't, you got to take advantage of a sputtering Arizona team that's kind of trying to figure out their footing, get their identity, especially offensively. Their pitching has actually weirdly been one of the worst in the league, even with Gallen, even with Burns. So, they're going to have to get to them early and often, try to build momentum, go try to take 2 of 3, come back, take 2 of 3 against Toronto, and then you're feeling a whole lot better about where you are as a team. Because then you're sitting at 8-8. You're sitting 8-8. You're back to 500 if you take 2 of 3 in the next 2 series, and you build from there.
Exactly. But I'm also going to say, and I agree with you on this, I'm giving Gunnar a pass just coming from the injury.
Yeah.
Off the IL. Once he gets ramped up, like once he starts hitting I'm not going to say hitting moonshots, but once he starts spraying the ball all over the field, things are going to start clicking.
Yeah, and I think it's going to click for the whole offense. I think once Gunnar starts going, I think he is going to be a massive just springboard for the rest of the offense. Get him on early. Then you got guys like, yes, he will be playing Seti behind him who's hot. Get Westberg who's hot. These guys will start driving in runs, but it starts with Gunnar getting his feet underneath him, with these guys really making up for, kind of what's been going on right now.
And then Kowser's back what?
He's going to be 6 weeks probably. Yeah, he's going to be
July?
June. Yeah, late June probably.
When Kowser comes back, do you still keep Gunnar leadoff, or do you move Gunnar to 2, Kowser 1?
You see, I would, even right now, I would put Gunnar 2 or 3 and put Seti at leadoff, even at this moment, just with the way Seti's hot right now. I like getting guys on for Gunnar. I know he's been a spark plug at the 1 for, time beings, but I would rather, as fun as it is to watch Gunnar hit a leadoff home run, I would rather that be a 2-run shot with someone on first. So,
absolutely. And not only that, with Seti, if he's hitting leadoff, he gets on.
He's still in second. Yep.
Put him in motion right away.
Exactly, Steve. And that's how you start putting pressure on guys. Hell, Seti go up there, first at bat, bunt down the third base line, get on base, steal second, Gunnar single. Now you're up 1-0, just like that.
Exactly.
You don't have to overcomplicate baseball, Steve.
No. And Hyde wants to do that every single day, and it annoys the crap out of me.
It feels like they just overthink it every single time.
Yep.
Awesome. Steve, appreciate you as always, my guy. I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow at some point, so we'll catch you then, hopefully talking about a win.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too, Steve. Also appreciate it. And we are moving on to our last call-in before we get out of here. None other than Laura. Laura, how are we feeling after this one?
Do you see my face?
Yeah, that's how I think
do you see my face? My hair's all over my head. I mean, I got up early this morning, Zach, and washed the shirt because I was all excited. Washed the shirt, had the shirt on. You see, I'm not wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
I put on this holy shirt because right here is where the Orioles ripped my heart out through the hole of the shirt.
It's what it feels. It feels like it. I just, every time they bring you back in, you're so annoyed. 3-game losing streak. You're like, screw this team. You're like, this is, something's wrong. Then they go out and they put on an 8-run performance. Everything's right in the world. You're like, oh, okay, they're getting their confidence back. Lineup's putting it together. The young guys are getting it going. And that's like, bench everyone. Let's see what happens. And you're like, what was the strategy?
Kevin dropped off because I was going to drop another one of my pop culture references here. Every time I try to get out, they suck me back in.
I'm glad you got the reference as well.
He doesn't know that one. I know he hasn't seen that movie.
No, every time I use that GIF, I love using that GIF, especially when the Orioles start going, time I'm out, they suck me back in.
Suck me back in. So, I mean, AJ said it all today. That's why I kept saying in the chat, let AJ cook. Because
no, AJ spoke for everyone today.
Correct.
AJ,
he was on fire today. Just like, yes, let it burn. Let it burn. That's what I feel like. Burning it down. Let's try and build it back up. So the only other thing I really have is we know Brandon Hyde's going to get fired at some point. Who's taking over? Joe Madden?
If I had my pick of anyone, I would love David Ross. I would love to go back to. I think he is just such a player's coach. I
Okay.
think that I think he's seen. Hey, he's won a World Series, but he's been a guy who I think players love to play for. I think even with guys like Adley, he can help. He's been, as a catcher, he knows the pitching side and the position side, fielding side, how to set everything up. I think he's a brilliant baseball mind that really deserves a chance again.
Okay.
So wouldn't mind that. I know a lot of people wanted Terry Francona before he went to the Reds, but like the Reds also just lost 3 straight games, 1-0. So I don't know if people really want that.
No, I don't think Terry Francona is a Baltimore guy. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
and Joe Madden, and keeping in mind, I worked in corporate partnerships at the Rays when Joe Madden was there, and so I don't know. He says he wants to get back into coaching, but I also think he's really just content, swirling his little wine glass like he likes to do. So he
And
may
that's the
just be
thing. Some
happy
of
doing
these
that.
guys, I was going to say, some of these guys, it's you sit there and you're like, you would be the perfect guy for the job. But especially for Joe Mann, he's like, I've been doing this for so long. I just kind of want to, if he doesn't want to come back, it's hard to argue with him because he's
Right.
been there, done that with multiple teams. Where
Exactly.
he's
And
resurrected these teams.
He's
So
got
it's like,
his podcast he's doing with I think Steve Verducci or somebody in baseball right now. So yeah, he's probably like, oh, this is the life. I don't have to travel. I don't have to be stressed out. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
The big reason I'm calling in today, I'm not going to be able to call in tomorrow night.
Yeah, the late
Late,
nights.
only because I have to get up and be at clinicals at the crack of dawn Tuesday
Yeah.
morning, and it's my very last clinical for the semester, so I can't miss it.
Yeah, don't want to miss that one.
Right. So, and I mean, I literally on Mondays I go to bed at like 7 p.m. I get up at 3. I leave my house at 4. It takes me 2 hours to get there, so I
Oh,
can't.
yeah. No,
Well,
get
because
your sleep.
I'm down. I'm down in Fort Myers still. So
Yeah.
if I go back up to Tampa tomorrow night, then it won't be as bad because my clinicals are right there. But I'm hanging out with the kid, so I like
love it.
the kid. Can't
Yeah,
say
like it.
So,
Laura. Yeah, but it
but
won't be the same without you. But we'll give you the clinical mulligan. We'll
thank you, thank you.
you get the pass for that. So appreciate
But
you calling in to let us know so we know ahead of time.
the O's are not fine. I'm sorry, y'all. The O's are
They're
not
not, but
fine. Not
they're
right
not
now.
fine right now, but they can be if they can go. All they need to do is win the next 2 series, get back to 500. We can put it back on the table, the possibility of them being fine. If they can win the next 2 series, we can start discussing if they're fine. Also, would not mind. Would love to bring in Dusty Baker. Would love to bring in Dusty.
Exactly, but I don't. Because Dusty's another one that's up there too, and he got his World Series with Houston, and I think Dusty's like, you know what, I got my World Series, I'm good to go.
Which very well could be. Some of these guys, like you said, with him getting up there, it's just like I don't feel like it.
Right,
Go out on
and
top.
I don't.
Went out on top.
And I'm trying to see who are the new young up and coming guys. Like we have in football, who are the new young geniuses that we can get going so we can stop going to the 70 and 80-year-old guys. So who are the new geniuses that are going to be coming up in Major League Baseball that could be that manager?
Yeah.
And that's also part of it. Baseball is so set in their ways in a lot of ways.
Exactly. And that's where it's been an interesting. It feels like right now everyone is this, the young guys are all analytics guys, and then teams that have success seem to be going more with the old-time baseball guys who just know how to have a feel for the game. There's something you can't put a price on having a feel. Analytics can't can't decide the feel for the game. They can't pick up on that. So that's where I think it does help having a guy who knows what to do there.
Correct. Because Lord knows we don't want Joe Girardi back, Mr. Analytics himself. Him and his notebook. Lord.
Yeah. Maybe
Okay.
just bring Buck. Maybe just bring Buck back. Or promote
We
Buck.
can do that.
One of the Bucks, or just one of the Bucks. Give us a Buck.
A buck.
Yeah, a Buck.
Okay.
Give us a Buck.
Last thing, the baby's falling in love with you. I saw the way that baby looked at you, Zach.
I think he's falling in love with
Molly's got some competition.
We've got. I mean, how can you not be romantic? Maybe not at the moment, but be romantic about baseball. It gets everyone feeling a type of way, Laura.
Exactly. So it's all good, Zach.
Appreciate you calling in as always, Laura.
Thank you.
We won't see you tomorrow, but we'll see you eventually in the next few.
I always do try to take a break in my clinical day on Tuesday, right when you guys go live. So I do try to pop in there a little bit. So fingers crossed I'll be able to pop in on Tuesday as long as nobody's having any type of code or anything. So
I hope so. Appreciate you as always, Laura, and I'll see you then. I'll see you
always
then.
a pleasure.
Always. Man. Yeah, Orioles, I don't think they're fine at the moment, but they have the opportunity to be fine. Just win the next two series. 2-1, 2-1. You're back at 500, and then let's play ball for the rest of the time. So that's going to do it for this edition of Kevin and Zach React. Orioles lose 4-1. God, it was a tough one to watch. And just overall, hopefully they can get back at it tomorrow, back on track. We'll be back here late night tomorrow. Game starts at 9:40, so we'll probably be on here around midnight at some point, a little bit later, but we will be live tomorrow no matter what. So appreciate you all. Joe, we're getting there. I say it before I sign off. I said we'll get to the random O. I've heard Gunner. I have not heard Bobby, so I appreciate that, Kirby. But everyone, have a day, have a night. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll be back tomorrow for some late night Kevin and Zach React. I will see you then. Levon Soto.